Have you ever noticed that almost every magic spell in every 80s movie was spoken in Latin?
Nunc habemus lucem.
Te nunc transforma in formam veram. What eludet? Species mentem meam.
And not just the 80s.
Dolor supervivo caro. Dolor supplemus caro. Dolor igneo animus. Hicante circulum aperiatis prudentia prudens, in pulcra figura humana et virtuositate aliqua. Velocitas, velocitate, vitae, historica, antiquate.
Tempo restiva correctus. He's taken.
Not to mention the most famous one of all.
Oculus reparo. Rictus Sempra!
My name's Harry Potter Jr. I just moved into this building.
Salvete omnes. Welcome to Latin for witches and wizards. Salvete omnes. This is how we say hi in Latin. Salve, be well, addressing one person. Salvete, be well, addressing more than one person. Omnes, all, everyone. It basically means be healthy, or welcome, or hi.
Aperiannuum, aperiannuum, aperiannuum.
I love Latin. I can really feel the magic when I use Latin in my incantations. It instantly takes me away out of my mundane mind into a world of transcendent magic. Cano verba magica, cano verba potentia, audite sempiternum, audi aeternum.
Ius mensa surge. Surge mensa.
I want to make this an easy, light, fun beginning course for magic users of all kinds. In each lesson, we'll learn new Latin words and short spells that you can begin using now, even before you learn all the grammar or rules. And we'll get to all the grammar and rules later, but I promise I'll make that really painless and easy and hopefully fun.
Let's have some fun.
My aim is to equip you, dear witch or magician, with a basic understanding of the Latin language, so you can begin to incorporate it into your spell work today, and you can begin feeling the magic and power of this ancient language.
Mortem confundit magus.
In this lesson, I'm going to state the goals of this beginning Latin course, babble about the new and easier way more and more people are learning languages, and I'm going to dispel some myths about Latin and language learning in general. The goals for this course are enabling you to confidently pronounce spells you may look up and find from other people, enabling you to write your own simple spells in Latin, guiding you how to research what you need from the internet or other sources by knowing what to look for example, correct forms of words, giving more witches, wizards, and magic users confidence in using Latin in their spell work, empowering them and bringing success. At least having some fun and maybe even being a bit entertaining while conveying some useful information. By the end of this course, you will already be using Latin in your magic or prayer practices and have a general understanding of the rules, so you know how to look them up on your own. Now for some babbling. This course is based upon comprehensible input. Comprehensible input. And grammar and rules and all that comes later. What is comprehensible input? Comprehensible input is basically messages or language a learner can understand even if they don't know all the rules or the grammar of that language. It's often in the form of pictures or videos or gestures. Subrideo. Subrideo. You know what that means. Chicken. Just kidding. It means smile. That's comprehensible input. Here's an example. Malum. 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 Be careful with that one though, because long A malum means this. Short A malum means
yeah.
malum. Recent research shows that the grammar first approach of the old school, where day one you learn declensions and conjugations and all the rules before you're allowed to use or speak the language, is not only less effective, but also it can be damaging. If you think about it, children acquire languages simply by using them and being around them and hearing them. They don't learn the rules first. They learn grammar, if at all, much, much, much later. Simple broken language should be encouraged and praised in beginners, not corrected and punished by teachers. The student will intuitively absorb all the rules later effortlessly. So this is my approach. We are going to get to the rules and stuff, but I'm going to make it easy on you, and that's not the focus of this course. The focus of this course is the magic inherent in the language, and I want to get to the meat of it. I want to help you get to the juicy meat of it right away. Today. Now I would like to dispel some common myths. A lot of you probably know these things already, because I imagine you're very smart and wise if you're drawn to the magical arts. Latin is a dead language. If you mean dead language as in no country right now declares Latin as their national language and there's not a country where there are native speakers, then in that sense you could categorize Latin as a dead language. This language is very much alive now, and it continues to thrive. There is a growing community of Latin speakers who speak fluently every day and who are connecting all over the world. In Asian countries, American countries, South American countries, everywhere. So there's that. There have always been people using Latin or speaking it, reading it, and writing it in one way or another since the time of the Romans. Whether it was the educated elite of Europe who wrote all of their science and philosophy papers in Latin. All throughout medieval times, the Renaissance, and the Age of Enlightenment, including alchemists who were basically wizards. Latin was the main language of alchemy. Prosit. Or in the universities, even up to into the 20th century. Latin has been used fluently in universities up through the 19th century and has had a renaissance. Or the many dialects that transformed into our Romance languages. We don't say English is a dead language, but that it changed slowly over time. Latin changed slowly over time and became Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Romanian, and French. The current use of the term dead language is over-intellectualized and silly.
And there was much rejoicing.
By the way, literally every source for a definition of a dead language that I could find names Latin as the example. Not Coptic, Sumerian, Sanskrit, Old Norse, or Ancient Greek, but Latin.
Idiot.
I don't think this myth is that much of a problem for you, because if you're drawn to this course, you're probably a witch or a wizard and you like spooky old dead languages and dead things, so that's not a problem. The only problem is that as soon as you tell anyone that you're studying Latin, that's one of the first things you're going to hear. Oh, Latin's a dead language, isn't it? Why are you wasting your time studying a dead language? I think anyone that talks about studying Latin these days just gets that. I mean, that's why I don't actually talk about it.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
But a myth that might get in your way that we need to dispel right now. Myth number 2. It's hard for adults to learn languages. It's so much easier for kids. You've probably heard it many times. You've probably said it yourself. We've heard it so many times that we think it's true. This is complete BS. Stercus tauri. That's how we say feces of the bull in Latin. A very useful phrase. More recent studies actually show that adults have advantages and more tools than children when learning a language. Seniors or adults or even teens, whatever age you might be, have already learned a lot about life in general. Therefore, they have more to reference, as well as having the advantage of already mastering another language, whereas a child is struggling to figure life out and master any languages. I think it may be true to an extent that children have an easier time of acquiring or absorbing a language, absorbing it, and this is probably because they're relaxed and they're not stressed out about rules, or they're not beating themselves up about doing it wrong or saying to themselves that it's hard to learn a language. They're just doing it, they're just in the flow. So I believe that all of us at any age can get into that relaxed state and just absorb language.
Reversus, revolvus, returnus, resolvus, ilio, alio, redux, reductio.
By the way, another little thing that people think is Latin is very difficult, but after I started teaching English to some people, I realized how crazy the English language is, and I'm amazed that so many people are learning it around the world. I think English is way harder than Latin, because in Latin there are rules. The rules are followed, and it's easy to learn the rules and see the familiar patterns, whereas in English there are so many exceptions. It seems like there's more exceptions than rules. So if you can learn English, you can learn Latin. I firmly believe that.
Huh?
So, that's bullshit. I don't care what age you are, you can learn any language you want.
Nocivo carete,
Nocivo carete.
nocivo carete, nocivo carete.
Myth number 3. I'm too this or not enough that. I don't have time. I don't have that language talent that others have. I'm not smart enough. These are all 100% stercus tauri. Shit of the bull. Excuse me, feces of the bull. Learning languages has nothing to do with intelligence. It basically is how much time you spend with that language, whether it's watching videos, reading books, talking with someone who knows the language, taking a course like this one. It's all just the hours you put in. It has nothing to do with intelligence or a talent for learning languages. These are myths that we need to dispel to make learning more fun and to know that we can excel at any language we want more easily than we think. Just relax, and I'm gonna guide you through this, and you're gonna be doing powerful magic spells. You're gonna love it. I promise. Now that I've blown your mind and dispelled some myths that might have been holding you back, here are some boring details. But then, as promised, we're going to get into some Latin words, and you will be speaking Latin in a matter of minutes and invoking Latin magic that will make you feel so powerful.
Boring technical notes. But extremely important!
A side note on V's and U's. Classical Latin only had V's. They could be used as consonants or vowels. But now we have come to use the letter U for the vowel. The consonant V sounds like W, W, salve, salve. The vowel U sounds like U, magnus, or more appropriately written, magnus, because in Latin, uppercase U's are often written as V's. And actually, in this course, I might be using lowercase letters, but for instance, in my book, Olympian Affirmations, which you may be interested in, as you can see, I used all capitals because the Romans used all capitals, and lowercase letters were a medieval development. So in the ancient times, ancient Greeks and ancient Romans only had uppercase letters. So sometimes I want to capture that power, and you can feel the power. However, in this more subtle magical course, I'll probably use lowercase letters, so U's and V's will be different, but just so you know, sometimes you'll see V's and U's, they can be interchangeable. Well, sort of. Okay, this is getting confusing. U's and V's are the same. Macrons, macrons. I don't know how to say it. Macrons. That's how we say it in English. Macrons. Macrons are these nice little lines that you will see over certain letters, and that helps us to know how to pronounce them correctly. It's a learning device and very helpful, and it's very nice when they're there. Here are some examples. Amo. Amo. So instead of amo, it's amo. Amare. Not amare, amare. Amawi. Amawi. Amatus. Amatus. It just helps us to pronounce words, and they come in very handy. Just so you know what that means. It's no big deal. You can even ignore them if you just listen to how the words are pronounced.
More boring dates. More boring dates.
I think this is a very important detail, actually. I recommend getting a notebook, and the more magical looking, the better. You can get nice ones with blank pages. This one has blank pages. I have many. I like these big tomes, but I highly recommend going to a bookstore or looking online. There's some with very magical designs, sometimes pentagrams. I guess mine are secretive, plain ones, but I highly recommend it. Write down your Latin spells and always be taking notes. Here's a spell in Sanskrit. I don't even think I have any Latin in this one, but I have a lot of Latin in other ones. Here's my Swedish section. Some nice runes. It's very important so that you can draw and write all of your magical. Here's some Latin. A wizard or a witch always needs one of these. It will be very useful. So definitely get yourself a notebook. Something magical happens when you write this stuff down. And something I learned from an Italian teacher is just to always be taking notes. And you just keep playing with a language and keep writing the notes, and then the words start to stick after a while. Review the words. So, oh, there's some Greek in this one. You're gonna need one of these. Or, if you really don't want to, then don't. Follow your heart, follow your bliss. Maybe you just want to learn it and speak it. Oh, that's when I was first learning Latin. Just keep taking notes. Write. Look, practice. It's fun. Something magical happens. Something magical happens when you write all this stuff down yourself. This course won't be this intense where we're writing all the stuff and practicing. Or it might, actually. But I'll make it easy, I promise. Okay, so get a notebook and a pen. Maybe some nice colored pens.
So cute! Nice job!
Before we learn our first magic spell and learn our first words, I have some words for us to learn right here. Another very important thing in learning Latin, and probably any language, always speak aloud. Say all of the words aloud. Speak aloud. Always speak aloud. Okay, that's all the boring details, so let's learn some words. Lesson 1, boom, we're learning magic words right now. Let's learn 9 words together now. Are you ready? Perhaps one of the most important words we need to learn in any language. Sum. I am. Sum. Esse. 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 To be. Fortunatus. Fortunatus. You can roll those R's too, by the way. They used to call R's the dog letter because you roll it like a growling dog, and that's part of the beauty of this language. Fortunatus. If you're a boy or a man, fortunate. Fortunata. If you're a woman or a girl, fortunata. And fortunatum, if you are other. Fortunatum. Fortunate. Gratia. 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 Grace. Felix. Felix. Happy, fortunate. Beatus. Beatus. Blessed. Beatus. If you're a boy, like me, puer aeternus. Beatus. Blessed. Beata, if you're a woman or a girl. Beatum, if you are other. Bonus. Bonus. Bona, for a girl. Bonum, neuter. Neuter means neither masculine nor feminine. The word neuter actually means neither in Latin. Manifestus. Manifestus. Manifesta. Manifestum. And you will see that a lot of these words are very similar to English words. We have a lot of Latin in English. And our last word, number 9, potens. Potens. Mighty, strong, powerful, potent. And this one is the same for all three genders. So we can actually put a few of these words together immediately. So already we can have a simple magical affirmation or prayer or spell by putting sum after some of these words, like fortunatus sum, I am fortunate. Sum fortunatus. Sum fortunatus. I am fortunate if I'm a boy. If you're a girl, you would say fortunata sum. Sum fortunata. And if you're other, fortunatum sum. Fortunatum sum. Sum fortunatum. And we are fortunate, aren't we? That's something nice to repeat to yourself, to the universe, or on your daily walk, or walking to work, or wherever you're going or driving. You can intone this magical affirmation and feel the magic. Or, same with bonus sum. I am good. Bonus sum. I am good. Bona sum. I am good for a female. Bonum sum. I am good if you're other. And you can use potens sum. Potens sum. Means I am powerful. Let's make our first magic spell. Please write in your wizard journal or your witch mirror book, right? Or your book of shadows. Here's our first magic spell. It's very simple and humble. Gratias tibi ago. Gratias vobis ago. Fortunata sum. Or, if you're male, fortunatus sum. Or, if you're neither, fortunatum sum. Ita esse licet. Sic esse licet. Sic licet esse. So basically this is a little game. It's saying so mote it be in 3 different ways. And this demonstrates, since Latin is such a highly inflected language, you can pretty much put the words in any order you want in Latin, which is very nice and gives you a lot of artistic freedom to form your own spells that you love. So sic esse licet and sic licet esse mean the same thing, they're just in a different order. This is a sidebar. Side note, in Latin there isn't really a way to say yes. We usually repeat what the question is. If someone says, esne felix, are you happy? You would say, felix sum. There's not really a word for yes, but ita and sic can be used that way. So if someone says, esne felix, you can say, sic, or ita. So that's how you say yes. And to say no, non. Non. There is a word to just say no. Non. Gratias ago. Literally, I give thanks. Gratias tibi, vobis ago. Literally, I give graces to you. This is how we say thank you in Latin. Tibi is to you, one person. Vobis is to you, more than one person. Gratias tibi ago. Gratias vobis ago. Fortunata sum. Fortunatus sum. Fortunatum sum. Ita esse licet. Sic esse licet. Sic licet esse. So it means, thank you. I am fortunate. So mote it be. So we packed a lot of information into this first lesson. I hope that you're enjoying it, and I hope you'll come back for the second lesson. We're gonna have so much fun. Valete. Valete is how we say goodbye in Latin, or vale. If you're saying goodbye to one person, you say vale. If you're saying goodbye to multiple people, valete. Valete. It means be strong, be healthy. Kind of like salve, but when we're saying goodbye, we say vale. Valete. Gratias maximas vobis ago. Valete omnes.